guys, thanks for joining us today on Millennial Talk, where we discuss issues affecting millennials and give recommendation on how to deal with them. My name is Bukunmi Adejobi, and with me here is
Josephine, Eriyo.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
How's the year been so far on Millennial Talk?
It's November already. This year has run really fast.
Yeah.
Wow. But it's been a great year so far.
Yeah, I agree with you. Also, for me, it has been awesome, and we believe that you have joined us on this very jolly ride on Millennial Talk. So today we'll be discussing eNaira. eNaira, but we all have our own sentiments and opinion about eNaira, but the facts remain the same. The fact is that the eNaira is kind of like an alternative or a digital version. It's a digital version of the normal Naira note. So it has the same value as the Naira. So, and it operates on an open ledger blockchain technology where, transactions can be done. So it's not like the decentralized version as we have in crypto. Many people think it's cryptocurrency, but eNaira is not cryptocurrency. It's a central bank digital currency. The eNaira is built on a blockchain open ledger technology. This is to ensure that a holder of the CBDC cannot have a duplicate or fake eNaira because each Naira note will be unique. Contrary to what many think, the eNaira is not a cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, or any other type of crypto. Crypto, on the other hand, are encrypted, decentralized, and privately controlled. They are often referred to as digital coins. The eNaira would purely play a complementary role to the Naira, and the digital currency will have equal value as physical cash.
Well, the eNaira is also designed for all individuals. It doesn't matter if it's a merchant bank, a corporate bank, even the CBN, the market sellers, every individual in Nigeria. Just as you have the access to the currency and the notes, you also have access to the eNaira, but it is dependent on the internet. That is the only difference.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of thinking in my mind, like, is this workable? Is this achievable? And that's why we're here to have this discussion, to know how this is going to affect us and also look at the sentiments of people. The recently concluded Nigerian Fintech Week, they were looking around the issue of the CBDC, where they discussed at a panel, and they looked at the eNaira in the fintech sector. There was a lot of humming in the background. I know that you were at that event as well.
Exactly.
And when they threw this eNaira topic, everyone was like, whoa. And also remember, that was the same week when the app got kicked off Play Store. And there was a lot of investigation. So we would like to quickly look at some of the sentiments of Nigerian youths as they hear about the launch of the eNaira.
Very funny things, I must tell you. Very funny things. So the first one, I asked someone, and I'm just looking around the internet, and this is from Mayowa. It says that it's just a normal savings wallet. That's all. It may not fly as a single standing entity, but if it is embedded with services like transportation, utility bills, and maybe paying your school fees and all of those, just like we have with normal fintech application for digital transactions. So if I cannot pay my bills with it, you're just telling me to carry eNaira for what? Then the suggestion is that maybe the central bank should look into, infusing it with other, payment platforms or services that, people can also use, apart from the fact that it's just a wallet.
Yeah, I think that's a good one actually from Mayowa. I also looked up this one from People Gazzetti last week when the app was kicked off Play Store. There were a few funny tweets about it. But I'll particularly look at this one first from People Gazzetti, where they tweeted about so it says that the CBN says that we won't be liable for stolen funds dispensed error from Nigerians on eNaira account, says the Central Bank of Nigeria. That really sparked. Like, if I even had any interest initially, I literally would be like, okay, I don't think I want to.
Because my money is not safe.
Exactly. So when we're even complaining that our money is no longer safe in the banks, and now you are saying that once there's an error of dispense, I cannot get my money back. Wow, I don't think I want to do that personally.
Yeah, people had their reservations. And the downloads of the app, you mentioned that it was taken off Play Store. It was downloaded 200,000 times. But after it came back, it just had like 20,000 times extra. So since then, the movement has been very slow. Another one here is from a let's say, an IT person, and his name is Abiola, and he says that government has the bulk of work to do and citizens to have their part. Government needs to make other countries recognize it as a means of value payment outside Nigeria and even within Nigeria, and ensure that it becomes more popular to help stabilize the Naira and the economy. He says that other fintech companies also can integrate it into their apps so that we can use it to make payments. I know banks have started doing that. And he also says that the possibility is endless, to be honest, but we have unpatriotic citizens.
Exactly.
That, like many who rate basic fintech apps 5-star and rate eNaira 1-star. Which is
basically just because it is eNaira.
Just because it's Nigeria.
Just because it is eNaira, 1-star is straight up. But I think there's one of the things that I picked up from what he said. The thing about international transactions, you know, if we want to do international transactions, we have to have apps like Payoneer, and that's because we don't have any e-currency in Nigeria that can just make you easily pay from your local bank account. So if they can infuse things like that, this will drive, especially with millennials. Sometimes we order things from China, we order things from different countries, AliExpress, but we can't pay. Sometimes it's difficult making payments. So if this can be a form of payment, maybe we would be more interested. So the government should look into infusing it,
more relatable with us.
Exactly. So let's look at one more funny tweet from this one was tweeted by Senator Shehu Sani. And after the app was kicked off Play Store, he said eNaira may have also been kidnapped from the Google Play Store.
That's deep, Safa.
No, you know what? I think the reason why I tweeted that is because we have so many insurgencies going on in this country. Like, there's a lot of many things, and they're like, okay, you guys are not focusing on this, and you're not even building it to a stabilized form for us. So we have so much trouble, and you're bringing more trouble. So you're saying if my money disappears, I can't get it. So maybe the app was also kidnapped as well.
But you know, the thing is that many people don't know is that CBN had actually started this whole eNaira thing and CBDC thing since 2017, but we didn't really know about it. So it's not like it just came out of the blues. So many people think since 2017. Godwin Emefiele has started processing, or I don't know, involving stakeholders in the development of the eNaira and Central Bank Digital Currency, and this is something that is also happening across the world. So whether you like it or not, it has come to stay.
Yeah, but let's talk about inclusion. I remember one of the topics that they talked about during the Fintech Week was inclusion. Let's talk about the Gary sellers. Let's talk about people selling tomatoes. Now, if we're saying they said right now currency is still available, but I heard someone also mention something like in the nearest future they're hoping that currency become acceptable. But that's not possible. I don't see it happening in 50 years in Nigeria, especially in a place where you have our grandmommy still using the landline phones and stuff like that.
Years, I don't agree with you, because when you're saying in 50 years they'll have gone. So we are the ones that will be the old ones there. So whether we like it or not, it's something that will happen, and I feel that everybody would just have to adjust. It's just life. It's just we're using calories before. We're using salt. Some people, we're using trade by barter before we move to coins and we move to paper currency. So it's something that whether we like it or not, it will still happen. Talking about Fintech Week, we had one of the speakers, and the first point of discussion, like Josephine just says, that is this the right time?
Exactly. There's so much happening
to start the launch, to launch the eNaira, and is it really innovative? So we're going to be showing you clips of, some of the awesome, great minds who spoke at the Fintech Week for this particular CBDC session, and one of them is Adejobi, the co-founder of Convexity. So listen to what he has to say about that.
For us, we believe it's an innovation that should be allowed to foster, especially in Africa. I think we need it so deeply. The last time I traveled to Zambia, I have to go change to United States dollar, get to Zambia, begin to look for kwacha in Zambia, and it does not make sense within Africa. So at Central Bank, we try to erase that gray area, when we have the serious interoperability between central banks that are going to come up with that. And I think the Central Bank and the central banks within Africa are working on that payment system that will enable that on-ramp situation. Whether it is right or it is actually the right time to launch it, I told people also there's no better time than now. And in that sense, I give credit to the central bank for actually doing the first movers thing, stepping into it. And I said everywhere in the world, all the countries trying to actually fiddle around what CBDC is actually something they need to do. So central banks are turning like normal startups that need to actually come in to experiment these things. And we are early in experimenting, where we'll be seeing bugs, as we saw, from the downloads, which is normal for the whole technology itself is very nascent. And so for central bank to be some of the people that will actually take the first move, I think we should give them credit. They will learn as time goes on. And as Nigerians, we should also be patriotic to support them to succeed. And that is what I think it is. If we begin to bash them because they didn't actually do the right thing, in my view, the consultation like we talked about, the technology partner selection, so many things that are not adding up. But this is ours. I get a lot of kudos internationally. Oh, Deji, your country is doing superb, and you guys have done this. To me, I felt this sense of pride that we're actually taking the first move when others are scared of taking the steps. So, and that's how for people that bring transformation in this whole thing, they move first. I had this opportunity to train the central bank, I think 2 weeks ago, from different departments came in for the training to understand cryptocurrency and blockchain. And I had a full 1 week long with them. And what I was saying is, this is a breakthrough. You guys are getting it. You guys are knowing it. And it is something I think all of us should imbibe. But the first thing is, let's deep down, learn it as we go. And I pray, someone just cautioned me not to pray, that they have to just do it right. We should stop praying that they succeed, but I wish they do.
Welcome back. So also at the Nigerian Fintech Week last week, we also had the CBN highlighted the CBDC will be given the opportunity to improve financial inclusion. And hear what Senator Iyene, President CBAN, which is the Stakeholders in Blockchain Technology Association of Nigeria, has to say.
The CBN has told us that it is looking at USSD codes as means of also enabling transaction in eNaira, which is a wonderful, wonderful idea, because there are Nigerians out there, millions of them, who don't have access to the internet. And there are also Nigerians who don't have smartphones. And so if they can use that eNaira to enable that, I think a lot of Nigerians who are outside the financial inclusion brackets can then come in. Another way I think that the CBN might want to also look at, which I think to some level it's already looking at it. If you look at the tiered framework it has in terms of the volume of transactions that users of eNaira can have or use, you find that the first tier is you don't need to have a bank account to run on the first tier. That's a very wonderful idea. I've always been saying that this blockchain is an opportunity for you to set aside a bit all of those heavy KYC stuff that keep millions of Nigerians away from the financial system, and just leverage on the cryptography that blockchain brings. Because with that, you can secure a lot of transactions without necessarily getting people's ID and all that. More so because we have challenges with our ID system in Nigeria and across Africa. So leverage on blockchain to bring millions of people in. They can transact at some level without you knowing who is transacting, all right? When it gets to a certain level of transactions, you then say, hey, please give me your ID card.
Welcome back. Okay, so I believe you picked up something from what Senator Iyene said. I'm still talking about, if inclusion, and when this eNaira thing came up, many millennials were all wondering, what's the hype about eNaira? Yeah. Which one is eNaira? Why is it important to us? Why are they launching this at this time? Which was one of the questions many people had. And other people wondered, why weren't we involved in the development process? All of a sudden you just came up and said eNaira. You didn't ask us. Mm-hmm. Of course, they might not need to ask us if you want it.
Yeah, but still.
What are our inputs? Do you think it's something that we can accept? You don't just impose things. These are in other countries like in New Zealand, New Zealand, in the UK. These are things that they discuss. You know, everybody is part of the process. It might not obviously be part of the technical process, but at least it's easy for people to adopt it when they already know that one day this is going to happen. Just like what we had with BVN. You know, we had like almost a span of 5 years for people to start registering before they said, okay, there was now a deadline. So there was awareness. So listen to what Chimezie Chuta, the founder of Blockchain Nigeria user group, how, you know, his own thoughts about it and how he addressed it.
A lot of people think that the CBDC that CBN issued didn't go through enough consultation and there was not much transparency, even starting with the fact that a foreign company had to win the bid for technical partnership. But I know that, you know, it's like, you know, different strokes for different folks, because I know we were consulted and we made input to the technical committee, and we also did some resource provision to them. Deji, I'm also sure that you're not going to deny that. And you yourself, you are there also. I know that we were there and we talked and we made contributions. But for the benefit of everyone else, if you want to look at it from a broader perspective, do you think they were really transparent in the issuance of the CBDC?
Was there consultation? Yes, but there was no enough consultation. Public interface, public consultation wasn't there. And let me point this out, please. If you go to other central banks from Sweden, Switzerland, Ghana, what's it called now? England, USA, you see that there's a lot of consultation going on with the public, with legislators. Those things give you the opportunity to bring things out. So by the time you launch, adoption will just flow. But right now, you're seeing what is happening now. It has been launched, but people are asking questions that we should have answered 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago. So I don't think there was adequate consultation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, I hope that you have taken a thing or two from that small conversation. Well, given the significant explosion in the use of digital payments and the rise in the digital economy, the CBN's decision follows an unmistakable global trend in which over 85% of central banks are now considering adopting digital currencies. And also we're looking that this trend would also not just be in Nigeria, but also in various countries all over the world. So it is important that as millennials, we should support our own. I understand that we do not probably see the importance of this now, but if Nigeria becomes a better place, we do, you know, we kind of urge the government to also look at other parts that worries us as millennials, because if you can't take away all of these insecurity, if you have people's phones being checked and searched on roadblocks and all of that, it means I can lose all my money in one day. You're talking about not being liable for losses. So I could be from a billionaire to a poor man in one day. So I understand your
That's very strong.
Yes, I understand your sentiment, because you're talking about these things being traced. It's difficult for you to tell me that I've lost my money.
But you know, at the Fintech, they also discussed cybersecurity and how, you know, many private individuals were coming up with ideas on cybersecurity and how, you know, government platforms can infuse cybersecurity solutions into their processes. So Nigeria, I think we should actually applaud Nigeria, because Nigeria is one of the few countries in Africa that has really started, that has launched their own CBDC. Other countries are looking to do it. So it's just because, just as you said, we have other worries
exactly.
At this time. So that's why people are.
If this is going to thrive, they need to also look at other areas that we worry about, and then people will start. If Nigeria was a better place, everybody will be willing to embrace the eNaira, because it takes us to the next level in the global economy. You understand? So at the end of the day, let us be patient with the government.
I believe you've taken all the details, and the fact about the eNaira is not a coin.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
not Bitcoin. It's not crypto. But the eNaira and cryptocurrencies have similar, you know, hosting
features,
platforms, which is called the blockchain technology. Okay, so thanks for joining us today. We hope you've picked a thing or two regarding eNaira and how we need to support our government when they come up with these
new
with
innovations.
this new innovation, even if that's not a problem at the moment, but
yeah.
it's still essential for us to support innovation. Thank you for joining us. For more information regarding the stock market, financial news, market intelligence, log on to www.proshareng.com.